applicants are using AI right now to make major decisions, school lists, career goals, and application strategy. And I'm noticing a pattern that is quietly hurting people. They're becoming extremely confident in the answers they get, even when those answers are based on incomplete information, because AI gives you output based on what you put in. And if you leave out one detail that matters about your background, your goals, or the program, then you'll get advice that sounds polished and logical, but is completely wrong for you. So today I want to explain the biggest mistakes that applicants are making when they use AI and how that leads to weak strategy and rejected applications. So hopefully you can avoid those things. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Caitlin, an Oxford MBA and admissions consultant who has helped hundreds of students win interviews and offers to attend all of the top business schools in the world. I'm also a former recruiter for a staffing agency where I was reviewing resumes and interviewing candidates, and I graduated college summa cum laude and top 1%, first in my class of 1,668 students. Here's the thing that applicants don't understand. AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. So if you ask it, what master's program should I apply to? Or what schools fit my profile? Or what career path makes sense for me? AI will respond with a confident sounding plan. But if you didn't tell it critical information like your academic history, specifically the courses that you've taken and the subjects you studied in each one of these courses, or your professional work experience, what you did in each role specifically and why you chose to work for those companies, or your test score information or visa constraints, or possibly which country you want to work in when you graduate, or actually what you want long term, then AI can't give you a specific strategic answer. It can only give you a generic one. And the danger is that nowadays, generic answers don't always sound generic. They might sound like clarity. So applicants will walk away thinking, great, that makes sense, I have a plan. But what they actually have is a strategy built on missing variables. And in admissions, missing variables are the difference between an offer and an easy rejection. This is where the damage really happens. Admissions committees aren't just looking for an applicant who can explain what they want to do. They're evaluating whether that plan is credible. Meaning, does the plan make sense based on this person's background, evidence, and decisions, as well as the current state of the world? Because in a competitive graduate program, a goal statement is not enough. You need a chain of logic that can hold up under intense scrutiny and answers the questions, why this field? Why now? Why this academic step? Why are you ready? And what proof do you have that this direction you're telling us you want to go in is real? AI can generate a convincing sounding goal statement, but if the applicant hasn't actually built the foundation underneath that statement, the application becomes fragile. And what I'm seeing is that students are skipping the hard work of figuring out what actually makes them a good fit for the programs they want to apply to, and figuring out what career path they want to take. Instead, they're letting AI paper over those gaps. But those gaps are exactly what admissions officers are trained to notice. And when something's missing, when your story isn't fully coherent, it's not going to pass. Now let's talk about essays. Of course, if you use AI to help you with your essays, then your essays are going to sound like everybody else out there using AI to help them with their essays. But the bigger issue than that is that your essays might start sounding polished without being specific. Applicants use AI and their essay suddenly fills with phrases like, I hope to create a meaningful change, or I want to make a lasting impact, or I want to bridge business and technology. And the writing sounds elevated, but admissions officers aren't going to award points for professional writing that lacks substance. They want specifics. What you did, what trade-offs you faced, what decisions you made, what results you produced, what are you building toward? And what often happens when AI is used so heavily is the essay will become cleaner, but emptier. So instead of sounding like a real person with a real plan, it starts to sound like a generic version of an applicant. And that's where applicants will get rejected, even when they think their essay is strong, because it might read well, but it doesn't prove anything. Here's the question I want every applicant to ask themselves. Did I use AI to clarify what I already know? Or did I use AI to replace what I should have figured out? Because those are two very different things. And the applicants who get rejected are usually the ones who used AI to skip the thinking step. They let AI set their narrative. They let AI decide their strategy. They let AI fill in the reasoning. And then they submit an application that sounds confident, but doesn't hold up under scrutiny. So the main issue with AI in admissions is that AI produces confident answers even when it's missing critical context. And if you don't know what information matters, you'll get advice that sounds convincing but doesn't match your reality. That's it for today. If you want, comment below the word FIT, F-I-T, and I'll make a follow-up video that will tell you exactly what inputs from your background and your goals that you need to be able to make a strong school list and application strategy. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.